Guys, I have a bad news for you. Transportation as you know it, it's broken. It was 2 months ago in Chile. There was the Minister of Transportation with his team. He was showing me around. And for some reason, we got stuck in the underground. And I was finding myself in the World Championship of synchronized sweating. It was nasty. We were smelling each other. He won, by the way. At the airport, what we do there, it can be done before we arrive there. You know, and everything seems to know where you're going except your luggage. And you're waiting there, staring the carousel, while they punctually deliver it in Botswana. So, safety, right? In the airport, you do this humiliating thing, you know. If they 3D print a gun and they put it aside, they don't see it. If you're complaining about your city and the traffic, it means only one thing. It means you've never been in India. It's crazy. It means another thing. You've never been in Jakarta. This guy seems to say, I don't give a damn, I just have my bike. But that's not a solution. And, you know, Chinese are amazing because they can really, really deliver a ninja traffic jam. They've been in traffic for 24 years during the 24 hours during the National Day. And you know, they are amazing. In Beijing, in a very good day. This is Beijing in a very bad day. But if, you know, I'm single, okay? And if she is living at the other side of LA, I'm not gonna date her. Sorry, girls. We are deciding who to love based on traffic. But if I would tell you, thank you. But if I would tell you, tomorrow is the last day of your life, you would be pissed. You would be disappointed. You start to think about the things that you love and the people that you can't embrace anymore. Well, if you live in one of these cities, you're living 1, 2, 3 years less than was expected. And this is crazy because we're becoming numb. We think it's normal. This is not normal. And they are stealing our life. 10 minutes here, half an hour there, 1 hour there. We have to do something because that's becoming too much. But everything I told you and showed you so far, it's not the most important thing. 1870, a brilliant entrepreneur, Eli Beach, started to dig under a place that will be called New York Subway. He built 800 meters and he has been stopped by the car industry because they thought it was a threat. 1904, Robert Goddard, the father of the rocket science, patented a solution that was very similar to the Hyperloop. It was supposed to go from New York to San Francisco at an amazing speed of 250 kilometers per hour. It was stopped from the scientific community because they said, no, a human being cannot travel above 100 miles per hour. They've had the proof, they were all sure about that. And this is craziness, right? And if you look at the designs of the time, it was amazing. 1969, the American government published a paper where the Ministry of Transportation was describing 4 new transportation systems. And 2 of them, gravity vacuum and tube flight, were actually the Hyperloop. And you have seen, you know, humanity dreamed to travel in tubes in several ways. When Elon Musk published the white paper in 2013, he wasn't really inventing anything. He was just pointing a giant spotlight on this new possibility. He said he couldn't do it, he was too busy, but we were crazy enough to take his white paper and publish it in our website. What happened after was magic. Usually these kind of projects are done behind closed doors, but we did it in a complete different way, and that's the amazing thing of what happened after. We started to crowdstorm with people. We started to ask, how we should do this, or can you help us design this tube, or do we need a ticket? Not only do we need a paper ticket, but do we actually need a ticket as a monetization system in the 21st century? And what happened after? 600 of the best people in the planet joined our team, and from 52 countries, and they're working in exchange of stock options. And that's never seen before. They started to contribute, to give us money and tools and land, and everything was possible to make this a reality. And it's amazing what happened after. But everything I said and I showed you so far, it's not the most important thing. Hyperloop, I tend to explain it in a very simple way. Imagine, to have a train. You take this train and you put it inside a tube. You evacuate the tube from the air, so there's no resistance, and I will show you a little video. So basically, imagine that the tube is like space, right? So you can actually move this capsule from point A to point B at almost the speed of sound with very few energy. And the result is incredible, because now you can change the way you conceive transportation in a very safe way. Now, you already know that, we already go fast. Trains are actually going at 437 kilometers per hour. There are new models. They're actually traveling at almost 600 kilometers per hour. Airplanes are already traveling at 1,000 kilometers per hour. But what we are doing, we are designing a system that is going at 1,223 kilometers per hour, 3 kilometers less than the speed of sound. I don't know if any of you has ever traveled at the speed of sound. Pretty impressive, right? The technical term to define an object that travels at the speed of sound in an evacuated tube is badass. Now, I want you to travel at the speed of sound, but this is not incredible if you think on how we do it. The Hyperloop is not only fast, it's efficient. We're using a combination of renewable energy. What I mean, we use solar panel on top of the tube, we use wind, kinetic energy. It means when the capsule moves, we harvest that energy. We can use regenerative braking. In some climates where the solar panel are not efficient, we use geothermal. The combination of this technology allows us to generate up to 30% more energy than we consume. What does it mean? We don't need subsidies from the state. Every other system on the land needs it, and we are financing it with our taxes. So that's a broken system we need to fix. Also, there is other characteristic unique from the Hyperloop. We build it on pylons. And the reason is very simple. It's more efficient. We can build pylons that are actually capable of resisting 9.2 Richter scale. We are also trying not to solve one problem and to create another 10. So we are looking at, for example, how to build a vertical garden, how to collect the water from the dew and give it back to the land. We're transporting bandwidth and giving back energy and recreating a giant facility maker that can be also a business for the landowner, increasing the value of land. We're also looking at scalability. When you build a road, it's already old when you finish to build it. In the Hyperloop, one tube can transport 24 million people. An entire system is capable of transporting 500 million people. So even China can use it. Imagine the trains, right? You all know how it works. Basically, the high-speed rail uses a very antiquated system. You have to electrify kilometers of roads, and you have to bring it to superconductivity to allow the levitation. It's a very inefficient system. What we use is a complete new approach. First, we acquired the technology that was invented by the Lawrence Livermore lab. and it's one of the most famous laboratory in the world. Then we put a linear motor on the center and 2 magnets on the side. The linear motor is capable of accelerating and decelerating the capsule, like a Tesla or a roller coaster. And the magnets are magnetized in a way that at the beginning, when the capsule accelerates, is just a laminate of aluminum or copper. But as soon as we reach 20 miles per hour, we become an airplane. We float without using any electricity. And this is the magic thing about what we are building. It's super efficient. In the same way, to slow down the capsule, we revert the linear motor, and we can slow down and gently go back to the laminate and disembark the passengers. Very simple, right? Well, there's so much technology and so much safety system that we've had to invent to make this a smooth travel for everybody. Also, we're looking at the overall experience inside the capsule. For example, in a capsule, you can't have a windows. But in reality, we find a new way to actually make the passenger travel comfortably. We will always accelerate and decelerate in a very smooth way, maximum 1G of acceleration. And inside the capsule, we can't have windows, but we put high-definition screen. Now, when you look at the screen, it's not really real because there's no propulsion, right? But we are using an advanced motion capturing technology that allow the image to be repositioned depending on the movement of the passenger. And this will give a very realistic feeling. Now, where do you want to go? You want to go to Paris? You want to go to Italy? Trust me, there's good food there. I know it. Do you want to go in space, underwater? Do you want to see how was your country in the past? We can bring you there. So we are trying to make you rejoin the joy of travel. It's not about going as fast as you can at the destination. You need to have a different experience, and we are building it. The other aspect is, of course, safety, and that's where the biggest effort came. Now, the normal way to accelerate is in 5 kilometers, giving the passenger a 5G deceleration. But in case of emergency, you have to be able to seal a tube, a section of the tube, and actually decelerate fast as 6.4 seconds. Now, you will have a deceleration of 5G. Don't try it at home, please. It's not comfortable, but we will save your life. And that's the most important thing. Another aspect of the Hyperloop is how more efficient is in respect of the traditional rail industry. It's not different, it's not difficult to understand this. The rail industry is a dinosaur, but it's also cost 6 times more than a Hyperloop. And the reason why it's so inefficient is very simple. If you look at how they build it, and 70% of the rail in the planet are built like that, there's a distance between the rail of 1.4 meters. And the reason is very simple. Anyone knows it? The Roman chariot. Yes, in the 19th century, they built the first railway using the tools of the roads. So we can say that basically the most efficient transportation system called high-speed rail has been modeled out of the butt of 2 horses. But the crazy thing is, if you expand the distance between the 2 rails, you can transport double the people and double the freight. Why are we not doing this? Maybe because they are subsidized from the state. But everything I said to you until now, it's not the most important thing. Imagine to have a different world. Imagine to be able to travel between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, and you embark in Kuala Lumpur, and before you arrive to Singapore 20 minutes later, you shout your own hello, and at destination you hear your own hello passing by. That's crazy, right? But imagine how airports will change, and different airports will become terminals of same airports, or freight. How can we transport goods and very important things like organs in a speedway? And new cities can be built out of this mess that we created that are the actual cities. So now I want to tell you what's the most important thing. Well, when you were a child, you probably remember that moments where everything was possible and we were dreaming and we were very idealistic, right? Have you ever think that you can actually go back to that moment? All these dreams are hibernated right now because we grow up and we think, that, the reality is different. But actually, all the people that are working right now in the Hyperloop are coming from different sectors, and there are scientists, engineers, and professionals. They are all dreaming, and they are all dreaming of a better world. And that's what we're working on. We are unleashing this amazing new possibility. And when you shrink the distances, you expand human art. And what happens is magic. It's like a voice that whisper two words: come closer. And this is important because when you are with your family and you are with them and you're doing stuff that you love, the underline beneath that is a whisper: come closer. When you're looking at art, the piece of art that makes you vibrate tells you, come closer. When you are smiling, you're telling to the world, come closer. Well, with the Hyperloop, we are adding a third word: come closer, faster. Thank you very much.